Hey everyone, CPAT here with another Exceed commentary. Today we have a match in the Hallowed Knights tournament in the Breakfast Club Discord run by Polterghost. First tournament featuring Season 6 characters, and today we have a match between Poiman and Erika. Both these competitors, I believe, are 0-1 in the tournament so far. Just a little Swiss bracket. I think there are going to be 4 rounds with 16 players. Thank you to Mix for submitting this video for me to post on. And yeah, we're going to see Erika on the red side, the bottom side, playing the Vatista. And we have Poiman on the Carmine. It should be an interesting matchup. I don't think I've actually ever seen this matchup before. Vatista kind of does have zoner type cards. I wouldn't really characterize her as a zoner per se, but she does have zoner type cards in her 2 specials, which are both fireballs, as well as, of course, her giant laser beam. Not really sure how viable the laser beam plan really is yet, but she has some zoner-minded cards versus Carmine, who, of course, increases his range with his very famous blood pools, as we are zooming in on Mikoroseo here for some reason. Lumen Stella. Oh, wow, perfect mix. Thank you so much. Of course, we're looking at Thrust, such a good card. And, of course, Carmine gets additional range on all of these options thanks to his blood pools, which have a before of +0 to 1 range, +2 power, if the blood pool is in the correct, in the range of the attack. As we are just going to be zooming in on some Vatista cards here as well. Vatista, of course, I think it's actually the first time I'm casting a Vatista. So Vatista has a super duper strange deck comp. So Vatista has only 2 specials in Mikoroseo and Lumen Stella, but instead has 5 all relatively cheap ultras, the most expensive being the laser at 3 cost. So what does this mean? This means that, first of all, gauge, I mean, you 0 gauge is like a little bit of a hamstring. Although the ultras are kind of all situational. I mean, they're cheap, but they're situational. There's an ignored guard, as we see a turn 1 blood pool in the center space for Carmine. This, however, tells you that you can't really threaten assault. You can threaten like spike or sweep. Does dive work? Dive does not work. And of course, this also threatens the speed 6 thrust, which would be 0 to 2, thanks to the extension on that blood pool. Back to Vatista here. So anyway, yeah, Vatista has like 4 different cheap ultras. Means her wild swings are like weirdly kind of consistent, more consistent than the average character, I think. Although a lot of our wild swings will just be normals. Then, if you're validating, you'll eventually just hit a bunch of normals, or unless you're like really unlucky and you hit one of the 4 fireballs at close range. As Vatista spends 2 force in the form of Zahishio to move back to range 6. So range 6 is where both Mikoroseo and, of course, the Lumen Stella hit. Carmine says, okay, that's fine with me. I'm going to boost a 2nd blood pool. Both be devoured. Boosted. Of course, Carmine, when he triggers those blood pools, they actually end up going to gauge for recycling in the future. But at range 6, Carmine's ranged options at range 6 is basically just going to be that spin. At 1 to 4, gets extended twice, so 1 to 6. As we're looking at Lumen Stella here, pretty good combat card in response to that spin, because if it would push spin out of the way, Lumen Stella at speed 3 would be faster. Would push, depending on whether Vatista chooses to UA, would push Carmine either 1 space or 2 space. It looks like we're just going to see a little speed boost in the form of Armbellum come out. Not really sure what we're speeding here. Assuming this just means that Vatista doesn't have the Lumen Stella in hand, just because that just kind of destroys Carmine's whole shebang, his whole setup. With the spin being the only card being able to hit at this range, as I was saying. Spin being speed 2, Lumen Stella being speed 3, and then it would, first of all, trigger that center blood pool, which is a little bit unfortunate, because Carmine does take a little bit of time to set up, and that would ruin the setup a little bit. And then Carmine would find himself at range 7 or range 8, depending on whether Vatista wanted to UA or not. But I'm assuming that this means there's no fireball in hand from Vatista, which is kind of strange. Don't really know why she moved back to range 6 then if Lumen Stella wasn't the threat. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. Because, of course, Dive would not hit because you can't actually trigger both blood pools. Looks like we have a mix-up coming in from Carmine, moving into range 5. Range 5 introduces some more options at the very least. Or at least I think it does. Does it really? Mix up to range 5. Could be a thrust. Thrust would be... You could only trigger the thrust from the leftmost one, so that'll be 5 power. So the Lumen Stella still works against the thrust. This could be sweep, I guess. Sweep now hits, but sweep has the same problem that spin does, of course. That Lumen Stella is still looking pretty decent. Like dive cannot hit. Actually, dive can hit if you take the before off the. If you take the before off the center, then dive can hit. Actually, so that would be the Lumen Stella cleanly. But I mean, I'm assuming there's just no Lumen Stella in hand because, like, why would you? And it's just a block against the sweep. Okay, so 10 power sweep. First Chuck discards a card. This feels really sad and bad. I really hope there's no Lumen Stella in the hand of that Vatista. Because this is going to be a 10 power sweep coming through. Assuming that Carmine wants to hit. Carmine, in theory, can... No, Carmine has to hit. Because both those are in 1 to 3. So he has to trigger both of them. He can't trigger the other one. He can't trigger the one outside before the one inside. Pulls the Lumen Stella. So now this is just confusing. Now this is just horribly confusing. And what is... Yeah, sorry. I'm just incredibly confused by why Strike with Lumen Stella wasn't just fully committed there from Vatista. Like, I don't understand the purpose of moving back 2 and then just not doing anything with it. Like, boosting a useless speed boost. I mean, frankly, it's useless. It's actually useless. At the very least, Vatista's blocks, because this character can generate so much force due to the 5 ultras in deck. Vatista's blocks are less expensive than some other characters. And a lot of other characters just because of the nature of her deck comp. But yeah, I mean, I have no idea what Erika was planning here. Okay. Anyway, Erika still has to decide how much damage she's going to take or whether she's going to mitigate all that damage. What are these guys? I think they're just having a conversation on whether sweep hits. Sweep hits. It's 1 to 5 when both those blood pools are triggered. So that's a moot point. Maybe Erika is a little unsure of how blood pools work. Otherwise, I don't really see what the conversation is. Okay. Yeah, you can just chuck 2 ultras like that to generate a bunch of force and just fully block that completely. You'd still have 2 cards left, which is, like, the average character would not be able to do that. Vatista is now at range 5, so, like, Mikoroseu is free here, in theory, if Vatista wants to initiate with that. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be one of the fireballs. Either the Lumen or the Mikoroseu. If it's the Lumen, then I'm double confused. Because, like, she had 2 Lumens in hand and chose to strike with not a one of them. The Gimme That will fully armor through, at least. This Mikoroseu will at least draw 2. With an after if this hit, draw 1. So we draw 2. The Gimme That, of course, will mitigate all the damage with its 3 armor. Wonder what the reasoning on why this is an after and not a hit draw 2. Is there a reason for that? As Carmine spends 1 force to flip. Of course, with 1 Mikoroseu down and 1 Lumen Stella down, the chances of having the second one of both of those cards is quite low. And let me think about the ultras. I feel like, well, laser would hit, but laser is 3 gauge. The 1 gauge ones are Armabellum and Transference, which are 1 to 3 and 2 to 3. The 2 gauge ones are Zahishio and what's the second 2 gauge ultra? Oh, it's Ruber Angelus. Okay, so Vatista literally just has Mikoro Useo and Lumen Stella at this range with only 2 gauge. So the Succeed's pretty free. You discarded a Lumen Stella. You just saw Mikoro Useo get played, where in a situation where I think that if Lumen Stella wasn't hand, Lumen Stella would get played. So yeah, I mean, you get tapped by Mikoro Useo, you don't even get stunned, you can advance forward if you want. The Succeed makes sense from Carmine. Is the point. Sorry, that's kind of a long-winded point, but the point is the Exceed action from Carmine makes sense there. Especially with a double blood pool in there as well. Back to Vatista here, not the highest looking. Vatista now spends 2 force to move forward in the form of that Transference. I feel like Transference is such an important card into Carmine. No, you want to get all those. Anytime you have an ignore like an extra spike whether like an ignore guard option, I feel like you want to be keeping those as into Carmine, just because Carmine's kit is just full of slows. And if you can bait out the thrusts, both ha be devoured are already engaged. That's like the only. I mean, you have a DP, sure, but those ignore guards I think are quite important. So I'm actually interested to see that being used for force to move forward. I'm assuming this is just going to be a blood pool from Gauge somewhere, and then a step back, turning the range 3 mix up into a range 4 mix up. From Carmine. Yep. We're going to be placing it at range 2 and then a step back. The Carmine shimmy. Placing it at range 1, step back. Placing it at range 2, step back. Okay. So this is the exact same position that Poiman chose to place it at earlier. Carmine now at range 4 from Vatista, which is actually just kind of the same kind of problems that we were talking about at range 5 from Vatista last turn. Just those fireballs work. I guess dive also works in that scenario, but yeah, let's see what Vatista does to counter this from Carmine. 1 more blood pool on deck in the Gauge. I'm sure there's 1 in hand as well. So life totals are at 30, but Carmine is slowly getting set up. A strike coming out from Vatista. So this could be fireballs. Did not declare the action, weirdly enough. Don't know why you wouldn't declare the action. Maybe she just forgot, or maybe she did and I just like missed it. Maybe she did it over the voice chat. So what does Poiman have? The thrusts in hand. Thrusts would just like auto win combat probably. Actually, Thrust is not auto-win combat, because this can be Lumen Stella. So Thrust does not automatically win. I apologize. Notably, Carmine can't play Assault and have it hit at speed 5. I mean, the dive hits because there's a dive. Spike hits because it's a spike, but not the Assault, because of the particular positioning of that blood pool. Poiman really taking his time here, trying to decide what option is best. Okay, he's finally chosen one. Let's see if he goes fast or slow. Goes for the slow. Vatista playing Focus to try to bait out an Assault that doesn't hit. Bait out Dive that doesn't generate value from the Be Devoured. So this will be a 6 power spin. Unfortunately, Carmine can't move across to gain advantage. Doesn't really matter though, because Carmine doesn't need to move. I think Carmine might move 1 space, that way he can do the shimmy and step back. No, Carmine chooses to move 0. I'll respect Carmine to move 1 space, so that way You can reestablish range 4 with 1 blood pool in the middle. Nope, wants range 3 instead with 1 blood pool in the middle. This introduces range 2 options like cross, as well as the DP shape, weirdly enough. I don't think the DP shape will be played, but I mean, the DP shape is technically an eye at 1 to 3, 4, 7. That's not a bad looking ultra. Slower option like focus also works there as well. Vatista initiating another strike into this. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that focus was trying to beat. Maybe just trying to mitigate damage, but then why would you strike with it? Get the blood pool out of the way. But then the thing is, if you're striking to get rid of a blood pool, Carmine's just going to put 1 back down. And it's going to be the same 1, so you're actually not getting anywhere. Did she draw 2 off the focus, by the way? Like what it's like a scuffed change cards. Okay, this time she's declaring the action. So did she not declare the action last time? I don't know. I'm a little bit lost as to what's happening. Here's the eye that we were talking about earlier. Sweep. Called out extremely well, actually, because that blood pool will drop. Well done by Erika here. So this is going to be a 4 damage twist. Hits 1 to 3, speed 7, spends a gauge as well. Sweep will, however, not be stunned. Blood pool will go off, and Sweep will hit back for 6. Nicely done. You don't want to place that blood pool down because it will immediately go away once that sweep hits. So the after ability on twist is that you can put a blood pool down from that twist, but it does not work here. Not a good time. Just gauge that, please. 3 blood pools in the gauge now for Carmine, however. First actual damage for Vatista, so that's good. I don't remember who initiated the strike the second copy of Gimme That gets pulled out. Don't remember who initiated the strike. If Vatista initiated the strike, then obviously Carmine's going to Carmine shuffle. If Carmine initiated the strike, then Vatista has 1 go at it. Okay, Carmine opting for the range 4 shuffle this time. Places it on his space and then immediately moves back. So now Assault's live. So Thrust is not live, but Assault and Dive, I guess, are live. I mean, Dive would hit normally. Sweep also live, as well as Pulverize. Back to Vatista, who spends 2 force in the form of Lete's Orbis to move to range 2. So now range 1 options are live. Gimme That is down, but Grasp is now an option at speed 7 for Carmine. As we see a second blood pool down, interestingly enough, from the hand. So Carmine will not shuffle. Places the you blank, this is the end. Can't afford it just yet, but places it on Vatista. So, I mean, +4 power on curve cross is a threat. +4 power above curve grasp is a threat. +4 power above curve DP is a threat, as well as the slows that Carmine obviously has alongside that. As Vatista looks like we'll be spending 3 force to cross over. Again, Vatista generates a lot of force. This, however, just means that, yeah, Carmine's just going to take a step back. Not a whole lot's changed, and even worse, Carmine had the Assault in hand, so that Air Dash will just back up 3. Carmine now at range 4 with 2 blood pools in front of him. So range 2 options will hit like Cross, or the second copy of Twist. Back to Vatista. That's a little bit of the problem with spending force crossover. Sometimes it's necessary, but Carmine in this case had the Air Dash on deck. Carmine also has an option in the Rain Blood to advance or retreat 2, as well as recur a blood pool from the discard. Looks like an expenditure of 1 force by Vatista to move back to range 5. I thought it was going to be a mix-up, but I guess not. Looked like she was actually going for the mix-up, but nope. A lot of expenditure from Vatista moving across this whole board. A lot of resources spent doing that. Let's see if it pans out for her. Carmine just placing another blood pool down. Why not? Moves back to range 6 with 3 blood pools in the middle. So now attacks at range 3 will hit. Or attacks at range 3 will hit if they also hit range 2. So if you can pick up that second blood pool, then we're good. If you're looking for a cheeky thrust, we're looking at a 0 to 4 9 6 thrust right now, with the 3 blood pools down. Just Carmine things. I guess cheeky is not the correct word for it. This is the opposite. This is not cheeky at all. As looks like we're going to see the instant flight come out from Vatista. That is not how that card works. That is a before effect. That is not how that card works. That's a before effect. Okay, there we go. No. What? What? Surely that. What? Wait. What happened? Sorry, what happened there? Excuse me? I think this looks like a mistaken game error, unless I don't know what's happening. First of all, Vatista needs to draw for end of turn, because she boosted something. So that Armabellum is just chilling on top of the deck. I'm assuming that's on top of the deck. Second of all, Instant Flight is a boost, so it's a continuous boost with a before effect, not an instant boost with a now effect. So Vatista should be a range 6. That should be boosted. I don't even know if she paid the cost for it, the Lumen Stella. This is... I mean, this game is, like, gone off the rails now, I think. Judge? Hello? Mix? You there? So what's that Armor Belt doing? I'm assuming that's on top of the deck. Why is it not on top of the deck? Mix? You there, buddy? Pal? No? What? Okay, just wait. Now what's that Armor Belt doing? Wait, we just prepped with the... What? Did I miss something? Did... So... you know, we'll just move past it. I mean, this is not live. We're just gonna move past it. Okay. Sure. I mean, this is gonna be an 11 power grasp. Somehow Carmine was able to set up 4 blood pools. Lord. Sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought with what's going on here. As far as what Vatista or what Erika has done here. Because there's just like, I feel like there's an Armabellum that was on top of the deck that's just like floating. We've somehow drawn past it. We boosted instant flight, and maybe we didn't boost instant flight. Yeah, okay. Now Mix is alive, so he's now zooming in on that Armabellum, be like, what happened? Did Mix go AFK at the wrong time to not catch whatever just happened there? That's gonna be an 11 power grasp, by the way. Are we not pushing or pulling for grasp? Or do we just break all the rules of Exceed in this game? What is happening? First of all, okay, now we got 2 errors. We're just throwing dives across the table. Dive beats dive. Not really sure why Carmine is diving. Both Lumen Stellas are down. Can't play laser. Oh, you can play dive for Mikaroseo. I think Mikaroseo's up. Okay, never mind. That's fine from Carmine, of course. Carmine did not actually move Vatista to proper range with Grasp. But I guess we're just gonna roll with it. I mean, I guess we have no choice but to roll with it. Okay, so now that what kind of unsanctioned what? Now, okay, so now that Armament goes on top of deck, what is, and it's not shuffled, by the way. What what is happening? As Carmine boosts, you blank. This is the end from Gage. We'll shuffle back one. We'll shimmy back one. Excuse me. Wagner shuffles, whereas Carmine shimmies. We should be getting that right. I feel like this is like a fever dream. Is this real? Is this happening? And I guess Mix was unfortunately AFK, did not catch what was going on here. But I mean, I guess we're gonna roll with it. Don't really have another choice. I guess. I mean, I commentated 2 of the later games already. I commentated games 2 and 4, I believe, and there are no mistakes in those. So, I mean, hey man, things happen. As we see Vatista initiate a strike at range 2, I believe Carmine does have a cross left. Carmine has a twist left as well for fast options, and then Carmine has the world and the world and a half for slow options. So let's see if Vatista, let's see what if Carmine calls out the correct Vatista card here. This is just yeah, well, I mean, let's not harp on it. Let's just continue on as if nothing happened. Just shove it down. Just pretend it never happened. We're here. Carmine goes slow. Vatista also goes slow, so it would be a nice trade here. 4 for 6, however, because of the blood pool. Vatista, of course, is taking the 6, which means Carmine has now a 10 life lead. Pulls that sweep out as well. Blood pool triggers. I believe that was Vatista's initiation. So back to Carmine, who will almost assuredly Carmine shuffle again. Places it at range 1. And draw. Did a draw happen for focus? I don't know. We're moving past it. Poiman did not. Okay, good catch from Mix there. Finally showing up. Sorry, I'm not going to rag on Mix anymore. He's been doing a good job. Thank you, Mix, for submitting the video, of course. But some very illegal things happened this game. EX response from Poiman. Is this EX Assault? Does he have EX Assault left? No, it's EX Dive. EX Cross. Oh, EX Cross, okay. EX Cross at speed 7 will beat the Assault. And that is game 1 going to Carmine in such a fashion. Of course, that EX Cross will be 6 damage due to the blood pool placed directly in front of Carmine. Mix is showing us. Mix is pointing out Carmine. Yep, there he is. Look at that. Look at that menace. Versus little baby Vatista. What could little baby Vatista do? As we zoom in on this card at the very end. Poiman takes game 1 of the set. This is one of those videos where I've segmented them into parts. So check out part 2 coming soon. If not already out. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll catch you for game 2, which is already recorded. So let's see if Erika can win next game with Vatista. Alright guys, take care. Bye bye.